hormones act within a system, and they are tied to other things in that system. So in our system, they are tied to things like the gut, the liver, the nervous system. One of my mentors coined a term called TAG disorder, and TAG is an acronym for thyroid, adrenals, and gut, because none of these systems operate in isolation. And I always explain this to people because I work with a lot of people on their gut health. They may be having those chronic digestive symptoms. They may be on a proton pump inhibitor because they're experiencing acid reflux. They may have an autoimmune condition, so we're addressing this from an immune standpoint. So like things are showing up digestively, and I always explain to them is that yes, we are working on the gut, and we don't just work on the gut. We also bring in the liver and the gallbladder if they still have one. We also bring in the thyroid and the adrenals, because none of these systems operate in isolation. Now, that can be frustrating when we've got symptoms and we've got dysfunction in one of these systems, because it can carry over to the other systems. And on the flip side, when we're positively impacting one of these systems, then we're positively impacting the other systems because they are connected. So we can look at that both ways. And so in midlife, as hormones start to shift, that will impact the gut. It impacts the gut lining. It can impact what's happening in the gut. It also impacts your adrenals, and it can actually put more stress on the adrenals. So this is something that not a lot of people know is, like, if you are not taking bioidentical hormone replacement therapy and you are postmenopausal, you are still making small amounts of estrogen and progesterone. It's just that where that production in your body is happening is different. So where it used to happen in the ovaries, at this stage, your ovaries have said, we have done our job, peace out, we are done, you're welcome. And that production needs to happen somewhere. And so it happens in the adrenals. And so if the adrenals are already taxed, if you already have, more of a depleted or maybe an overactive system when it comes to your adrenals and your cortisol, which is your stress hormone, it will impact things. And so, if the adrenals don't have a lot of reserve, that will also impact the shift and how fast that shift happens in perimenopause. So the adrenals are a huge, huge component here. And that isn't something that Western medicine is looking at, because they're only looking at cortisol, the stress hormone, if it is super, super sky high, as in Cushing's, or super, 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 super low, as in Addison's disease. And there is a whole host of what is happening in between there. And so that's where something like a Dutch test, a dried urine test for comprehensive hormones, where we look at cortisol production over the course of a 24-hour cycle, can be really helpful.